Good morning, everyone. This is Royce Miller coming back at you with yet another Royce's Recounts, where I talk about the strange and unusual occurrences that have happened in my life. Today on the docket, we are going to be talking about the violation of personal boundaries and why it is important to ask permission before you let your freak flag fly. As some of you probably are aware, I went to college at Iowa Western Community College from the years of 2013 to 2015. I did not complete any of my courses due to financial difficulty and a very, very bad case of depression that was undiagnosed and ravaging my brain. I could go on and on about my issues with that college. In fact, this is actually the second video I recorded. I had to get rid of the first one because I realized that there was some personal information in view of the camera. And rather than just, crop the video, which I think I can do on my phone, but I'm not sure, I decided to just refilm the whole thing, which is all kinds of great because I have a chest cold, as you can probably hear. And and that's why I'm not streaming at the moment, because I'm taking a break from streams while I recover because doing those streams really hurt my throat. Well, really, kind of my throat. I don't know, it's chest cold, so there's not as much up here, but there's a lot of crap down here, and harder to breathe and talk. Anyway, so one day in college, circa 2014, I was sitting in the Informal, a nice place. They had a little gift shop, well, a college store or whatever, where you'd buy school supplies, some merch, and, a bunch of junk food. Man, I got so many of the Butterfinger cups there. I also got so many Skull Candy earbuds there. But I'm sitting next to the game room, just on my phone, waiting, killing time between classes, when this kid sidles up to me. An absolute stranger. We had never spoken before. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. He sticks his laptop in my face and shows me a listing on a website named after naughty winged reptiles. If you watch this with kids, you might want to consider asking them to get out of the room, because I'm going to try to dance around as much as possible, but it's like, if you know kind of thing. He showed me a toy. A toy that was very big, next to a monster can for scale. It dwarfed the monster can. He said, "That one. I'm getting that one." And for some reason, that is seared into my brain, probably because I had a giant purple phallus looking me in the eye at the time. Now, I can't remember exactly what I did at the time. I think I just nodded my head and was like, "Oh, okay." But what I should have done was gone and filled a report or something. Because, look, there is a time and a place to let your freak flag fly. But you have to make sure that the parties you are letting it fly with are consenting. You do not show me that kind of implement without asking me first. And yeah, I get it. I'm kind of a prude. I get it. But I don't know. You have to be aware of other people's feelings, okay? And like I get it, we're all socially awkward kids. I was 19. When I entered that school, I was 22 when I last saw it. Good lord, it will have been 10 years since I've set foot in that awful place. Oh, I think it might all this month actually. Holy cow, time really does fly. Yeah, no, it literally because oh my god, oh my brain. Um, I and like as weird as that is, what makes it a little worse is it's not the only run-in I had with him either. A month or two later, a couple of my high school friends and other kids I'd seen around the school and him were in the game room playing Five Nights at Freddy's on his laptop. The accursed instrument of debauchery. And, they were playing it and stuff, and they asked me if I wanted to play, and I said okay. And I do night one. I just do night one. And I'm so good with managing my, because it's a resource management game first and foremost. And I'm so good with managing my power usage that I managed to shut the doors for the last hour. Um, and he says some really weird things about like what he wants, how he wants Chica to, you know, and I don't know if you all know about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, but Chica is a animatronic puppet that's being haunted by the soul of a dead child. Just adds a weird bend to everything that they're saying. I don't know. I don't know. Like, this is a weird thing to talk about. Like, it's like, you have to find a space for this stuff. I don't want to be like, you should never talk about this. Because, I try to be a progressive person. But you should not force something upon someone who you don't know anything about. You know, I don't. Oh Lord. And like I get it. I get being excited about something you're passionate about. Okay, I get wanting something really badly for weird reasons. You're talking to someone who begged his parents separately because they were divorced for the Marvel Encyclopedia, not because it had a full page spread of She-Hulk, and it's uh, people always are like, Royce, are you actually gay? And I'm like, no. I don't know why people ask that. Like, yeah, I'm ugly. Yeah, I look gross, but I'm not. I don't know. Um, but the weird thing to me is how normal this kid looked. Like, if you were to put him and me in the police lineup and ask someone, okay, which of these two do you think is the creeper? Most people would say me. And I get it. I don't exactly look at, I don't look very good. Like there's a joke to be made about how, we somehow, something got swapped around somewhere and these two Iowa kids ended up with the wrong brain. I don't know. I don't know. That college was a dark time for me. I was failing every class. I was constantly broke. I was up to my I'm still up to my eyeballs in student loan debt. Like, I was not ready for college. I should not have been in that college. I, that's my main advice for everyone out there. Don't go to college unless you are absolutely sure. Like, you need to be on it. Yes, C's get degrees, but I wasn't even pulling C's. I would have been happy with C's. College was also the first time I ever did math homework where I did where I did the math, I did all, I did the equations as they wrote down and still got the wrong answer. That never happened to me before. Usually once I had the formula down, I could solve any problem. For me the biggest problem was learning the formula, which is why I always hated when they gave you an example in the book that didn't actually cover the whole formula. Anyway, I think one of the worst parts is that Informal was right next to the daycare because it was a community college. Some of the professors and a lot of the students had kids. So this was a public space he was in. He was doing this in. But I don't want to. Like maybe it's a good thing that I didn't like make a big fuss out of it at the time because I definitely wouldn't have wanted to ruin this kid's life just because I felt too uncomfortable. And it's done me no harm. I just think it's weird and fucked up that it happened. But weird and fucked up describes a lot of a lot of college kids. Like a friend of the channel, Bryn Daniel. Not really friend. I watch his stuff. I don't even think he knows who I am. Uh, he talked about the reason he stopped being a brony was because he saw someone watching My Little Pony porn in his college informal. Which I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess it is. Every day we stray further from God's light. Or Celestia's light, I guess, as the case may be. Are Lutherans allowed to do that? Only, like I've only seen Catholics do that. Anyway, I gotta go to bed. I've now been trying. This is the second time I've done this video. My voice hurts. You all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm outie.